Currently, a perfect storm of variables is colliding across the Midwest, setting the stage for lofty expectations. Each hour, the temperature plummets and the barometer climbs, crafting the perfect scenario for a monster buck to take a stroll. Episode 6 saw Caleb Greiner attempting to take advantage of this opportunity, but expectation was met with heartbreak. On top of finding a new dead deer on the Lucky Farm, Caleb discovered a truth he didn't want to believe. The buck he's been searching for all season did in fact move west and call the Beaver Farm home, but Mother Nature picks no favorites, no matter how legendary. Officially, the story of Lucky is over, and though not the way we hope to start the stretch ahead, the weekend is here and many of our team is hunting. 128 miles to the southwest of Caleb, Owen Reigler is rolling the dice and playing the odds, hoping to hit the same jackpot that saw him tag the world-class monarch known as the Loch Ness Monster. Heading to the infamous walnut stand situated overlooking Death Row, Owen hopes to write another chapter in this epic location story.
Just tore up. I'm 10 feet from the car. Wow, love this time of year. I brought that in a couple days ago. I was gonna decoy down here. I'm undecided if I'm going to because there's always does down here. That's what you never know. That's the wild card. Will you get past the does before the buck comes out? Flip a coin. Barely get an interview in. We got in here early, like 2:30. We're just getting set up and there's deer in the field already. It looks like 2 does and a fawn maybe. Man, I've said it before, on that Loch Ness hunt, conditions are as good as you can get. Today feels like one of those days. It was probably 70 yesterday and it's like 44 right now at 2:30, so pretty good. And then you time that with this late in October. These bucks ought to get up and move. I'll be surprised if we don't see a shooter. We got 3/8s in this area that I would shoot any of them. Actually, I offered for Devin to shoot one of them. It's kind of a heavy 8. If he gets an opportunity at him, let her fly. But I'd really like to see that wide 8. There's a wide 8 in here, and then a little farther to the west is that 8 that we found the shed with Mike Reed. Well, we're hearing stuff, man. We gotta just settle in and watch. Sounds like something's blowing out a script right now. Anyway, boys, we'll set in and see what happens. Thank you.
While Owen settles in with the early deer movement continuing, 180 miles to the northeast, new team members Zach and Lucas DePriest are also headed to the woods. Deciding to head to a newly crafted interior green plot on the 20-acre home farm, excitement to sit the stand is high.
All right, guys. Luke and I just got settled in. Took us a little while to get set up in this tree because it's got a bunch of branches coming off that we
brought the tree saw down, and we knew that we wanted to hang in this tree in the past, so we figured we might as well just take our time getting ready today. Really promising buck showed up on the food plot. We also have that bully buck that we're after, and then we have another buck that we call Thor, big mainframe 10-pointer. It's just a giant, so we're probably gonna do some rattling tonight, throw out some grunts, and see if we can get something moving this way. They did just pick a cornfield that butts up to our property. Feels good. This weekend is gonna be amazing, I think. It's the type of weather and time of the year that you just dream of, so we're gonna get after it.
With the first deer of the evening beginning to move, Zach watches for any flash of movement. Back in southern Iowa, Owen's hunt is picking up steam.
This great baby, here he comes. Wants it. Well, it's just after 5 here. Really hasn't been that active like I thought it would be. Maybe we're just in the wrong spot. I guarantee they're up and moving tonight. We'll see on social media some bucks that get killed tonight. Guarantee that, but we still got a good solid hour to sit in here, just a little over. So I'm not giving up hope yet. We'll see what happens. Send him. On the ground. Well, the mature bucks did move. We ended up seeing 2 of them. When we found the sheds with Mike on, and that white 8 was just right here. I spotted him in the corn. Hit him with a snort wheeze because I'd seen some trail pictures where he was being aggressive. So I just thought I'd give it a shot. Sure enough, he started pawing the ground, and took his antlers, he was raking the corn stalks and stuff, so I thought for sure he was gonna come in. Well, this other buck that we seen earlier with the split G2, he came in and just kind of stood and piddled around there, and then that buck kept looking and looking, and then finally I think he chased some does off, so it was super close to getting it done right there. But if we can get out of here clean, come back here tomorrow, I think we got a chance to see him again. This is that time of year where late October, they're still kind of in their home core before they just go bonkers in November, you know, so right now you can still kind of catch them on that bed to feed pattern, but still bumping does around. We'll give her a shot tomorrow, boys. We'll see you then.
We just had that one buck roll through probably 25 minutes ago. We had a really big doe come right 15 yards in the food plot. So it's only like 20 minutes of legal shooting light left. So with everything being up on their feet, we're hoping something's moved closer. I'm gonna try to rattle one last time.
Bruh.
I smoked him.
You smoked him.
Just the door right there, dude. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's go. Oh my gosh, dude.
Dude,
that's
that was
a big
quick.
buck.
He didn't make a sound.
Oh. Bro, he's dead right there.
He dropped. You hammered him, dude.
Oh, thank you, God. What just happened, dude? I just throttled a monster, dude. I just throttled a monster, dude. Let's freaking go, dude. Give me a freaking... Oh, dude, my back. Oh. Well, guys, we got the troops here. I'm gonna go over here look at this arrow, but I'm pretty sure I heard him fall right on the edge of the corn, so get to tracking. Oh yeah. Yeah. There he is, right there.
Right there.
Got him.
Yup.
Yeah, he did not go far. Tell you what, this weekend was magical.
It's awesome.
Well, guys, Luke and I were successful down here on the family farm. We shot him on this food plot that we put in. It's turnips and radishes. We put it in last week of August, I believe, right?
Yes.
This would have been the third, fourth buck we saw tonight. And Luke and I didn't even get to pull our bows back last season, so just getting to harvest a whitetail is an absolute blessing. First year with Midwest Whitetail, I don't know, I'm just kind of speechless. An absolute blessing to be able to chase these things. And now I can kind of shift my focus over to filming my brother. It's his birthday tomorrow, so we're gonna tear down our set we hung tonight and go to a different property in the morning, hopefully put something else on the ground. Thanks for tuning in to Midwest Whitetail, and good luck, everyone.
The cold front's arrival brought with it exactly what we expected, evident by Owen and Zach's memorable outings. Though not as notable, many more team members were out, putting their time in, hoping for the same outcome. Gavin Katurba is fresh off of confirmation that the 6x5 is alive, and with more recent intel, makes a sit hoping for a shot at redemption. I too was in the woods exchanging the bow for a camera, and for the next week, I will be following good friend Brian Brown, who drew a coveted archery tag in Iowa. And despite our slow hunt, the views fuel our excitement. Bouncing to a new permission property, Zach Rosmus made a sit overlooking a large bean field, enjoying a distant but action-packed hunt with multiple bucks up on their feet. With plans to hunt Area 52 in the coming days, one buck in particular is active and covering lots of ground. Finally is Mike Reed, continuing his pursuit of DK.
Friday, October 27th, had to work this morning. Wind switching from the south to the northwest. That happened around midday today. The temperature right now is 48. This front is just right in the midst of blowing through. It's going to be super cold tonight. Really excited for this afternoon, but even more so for tomorrow morning.
The evening passes with deer movement, but no bucks show. The following morning, October 28th arrives, and Mike gears up for another exciting sit on the river farm.
Saturday, October 28th. The deer are starting to move. We've had 5 or 6 of them come by already. A couple little bucks, some does. We're in the pinch. North wind. It's about 28 degrees with the wind. The front blew through last night. High pressure. Feels good. Hopefully we have some good luck this morning.
Plenty of deer working their way through the bow-friendly funnel, Mike keeps his head on a swivel watching for DK. That same morning, 850 miles to the northeast, longtime team member Phil Scott is also hunting. Set up on the same monster buck plot he's carefully taken shots in all season, his main target is a heavy bruiser called Wick. With lots of does using the plot, Phil sets up with major excitement.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm shaking.
opening interview. So here it is. Got up in the stand. We're after Wick today. We had a southwest wind, looked at some previous history in this plot, and it starts to get hot right around now. All the apples are on the ground. So I figured, you know, we got food up here, it's warmer. We've been crazy warm here for the last week, like 70, 75. Deer probably gonna be moving. Let's get up in this spot. Maybe he'll visit back here, because he was here all summer. There he is, dude, this stud. Absolute stud. Just a big 8. He was slightly quartering too. So the shot to me looked good. I'll look at it on the footage. Oh my gosh, that was wild. Absolutely wild. There's blood right here.
Okay, it's raining pretty hard right now. Just got back to the truck. I think, you know, it was a little bit quartering too. So we probably got some liver in there. So we're gonna give them at least 4 hours. Temperatures actually are supposed to drop throughout the day. I'm gonna pack my stuff up. I don't have great reception down here, so I gotta go to a place that does. And just wait for my buddy to kind of talk me through the shot with the dog and how much time we're gonna give him, and you know, what he thinks, and we'll be back.
While Phil waits on his good friend to arrive to take up the trail, back in Iowa, Gavin Katurba is making another hunt on the public land.
All right, it's October 28th. Back in the same spot we were hunting last night. After this 6x5 and another buck I forgot to mention last night. That bladed 8 that I had on camera last year, I've had 2 years of pictures of him, has shown up again. He's a great buck. He's, if I had to guess, at least 6 years old. But this 6x5 I know is living in here too. When we came in here, I'm not sure if you can hear the goose calls off in the distance, but there's some waterfowl hunters in here, and then there's another group of bow hunters. It's either gonna work in our favor and have the deer stirred up, or it's gonna shut everything down and we're not gonna see anything. So this crossing is a killer spot. You know, I've ran cameras here 2 years in a row, and I mean, right around this time every year, it's been really, really hot, so it feels good. It's like 35 degrees. See how it goes. Yeah, I saw him running for a second. Yep, I'm on him. Shoot, they're gonna go by us. Dang, man. It might still come around. Well, that was a great buck. I have no idea what deer that is. I was telling Dragos when we set up here yesterday that this could be a spot. This is one of those spots where random bucks will come through all the time. Man, I'm shaking bad. He was sweet. I mean, he reminds me of DK, honestly. Big framey, 8 or 9, I think. And of course they come behind us instead of out here in front. That was awesome. He's a stud. Ooh, let's go. That fires me up, if you can't tell.
Living in the moment, Gavin's adrenaline-filled encounter fuels his excitement for whatever else that might wander by. That same morning, 225 miles to the northeast in southern Wisconsin, another longtime team member, Josh Mersberger, is also in the woods. Already having a great fall, brother Jace's early season stud stokes the fire to make a call of his own.
Probably the biggest I've ever shot. I mean, it just shocked, truthfully. Absolutely insane.
After an action-packed hang and hunt the evening before with Jace, Josh is heading in solo, using the same cornfield for access to overlook the tight quarters funnel created between the hedgerows and thick woods.
Well, it's October the 28th. I'm back in the same stand that my brother and I hung yesterday, and we had that nice buck come through and made some scrapes. It's a beautiful morning. It's cold. I think it was like 36 degrees it got down to. And today's high is only in the 40s, like mid-40s, so I would think they should be moving. It's just, I know in this area, they shift from like woods to woods, and they're checking everything out. It's just a matter of time when they're gonna come through here and being able to time it right. So I'm probably gonna sit till like 10, 11 o'clock. Hopefully I get it done this morning, so stay tuned.
Bat.
Nah. Well, I think I smoked a dandy. I had those two does come through, and figuring that there's gonna be a good one to come in, I hit him. He went around me, went up the fence line. I saw blood just coming out like crazy. But he was angling kind of away, I think. It looked good to me, and the amount of blood that was coming out, I think I got myself a good one. So I'm gonna make some phone calls and then get a game plan to go look for him. So stay tuned.
With arrows and two great bucks, both Josh Mersberger and Phil Scott await reinforcements to take up the trail. On the tail end of his morning hunt, Mike Reed continues to enjoy deer movement.
Well, it's a little after 9 o'clock, and we have had non-stop movement for the last 2 hours. I think we've seen upwards of 30 deer, probably 20 does and fawns, and 9 or 10 1.5-year-old bucks. But it's fun to have so much activity. This is usually when it dies down. They kind of work their way slowly back into the bedding area. They've been feeding on these acorns around us just all morning. And the little bucks are just grunting and chasing and pushing deer around. So I think now that a lot of deer are working their way back to the bedding area, I'll probably do a little bit of calling. Hopefully get a mature buck to come through here.
With the crack of antlers booming through the river bottom, Mike waits on the edge of his seat to see what the call produces. Back in New York, Phil is taking up the blood trail.
So they're going to use this road.
They take off right to the left of that Audubon.
Sticked his head out and just marched. He was going right there.
And you shot him.
Done already.
Found it? Oh my, great track job, honey.
Oh yeah.
No way. Good girl.
Let me get you off of that. I don't want you to get sick on. Come here, come here.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. That is sweet. Oh, he was done. That mass. That is sweet. All right, well, here's Wick. Second sit for him. First time we saw him. Couldn't connect, and this morning we did. Was a little unsure about the shot, and it just so happened he's 50 yards off the plot here. Want to thank Phil for coming out with the dog, just to be safe. Just a culmination of some past history in this plot and the time of year. It's just time to put your time in the stand. And another key to success here was this plot and how it sets up. You got great access in and out, that's number one. Number two, we got some monster buck clover in here. And it's on one side, we got an old orchard, apple orchard. The other side, we've got a bunch of oak trees with acorns dropping. And they bed on both sides too. So came together. I just want to thank you guys for watching Midwest Whitetail.
While Phil celebrates, back in Wisconsin, Josh Mersberger is taking up a trail of his own.
I see a white belly.
Well, here he is, a nice mature Wisconsin 9-pointer. Yesterday, my brother and I hung a couple of stands, and then we sat him and had a nice buck come in. He made a couple of scrapes, so I knew it was in a good area. But he had to work this morning, so I went out. I hit the Midwest grunt call. I bet you it was more than a couple minutes later, this guy came walking in looking. And he gave me a nice 20-yard shot, and I was able to angle it up, and he went about 50, 60 yards. So ended up being a great hunt. He's got nice browse, nice G2s and mass. Hopefully the rest of the team has the same luck I did today.
With zero doubt, the morning's action showcased exactly why expectations were so high, and though Mike never joins the party of blood trailing, seeing over 30 deer matches his anticipated excitement. With many does in the area and great access to the stand, the pinch remains at the top of his best strategies for DK. While Mike gets down to scheme for the afternoon hunt, 30 miles to the northwest, Caleb Griner is making moves of his own.
I'm not really sure how I feel right now. We're pulling cameras out of the Lucky Farm. Made the decision that we're gonna move shop over to Western Iowa, to a farm that I'd traded some work for some permission. This landowner's super kind and gracious enough to give us free reign on the farm, so we're gonna move all the cameras over there right away on Monday. Right over my left shoulder is where we just last seen Vendetta. We have not had a picture of him since then. It's just, I put a lot of time into it, and I know some of you guys might be thinking, why are you giving up on a deer that big? But listen, this deer is 3 miles away from where he summered. I already understand that this deer has a range that's a little bigger than your average whitetail, and with how many does have died, with how many bucks that have died in this area, the deer numbers are very low, and I'm thinking that this buck is probably going to open his range up a little further than what he normally does, so I don't have the time to be doing that. So who knows, maybe we come over here, glass him up, lock down with the doe on a terrace. Maybe that's how the story ends, but let's go find another big one.
That same afternoon, 135 miles to the southwest, Owen Reigler is coming off of a great sit at Death Row. Heading back to the same funnel, he makes a micro adjustment and switches stand locations.
Well guys, here it is, the afternoon of October 28th. We've got beautiful conditions, even a little better than yesterday. I think I showed you guys why you don't wait for a daylight picture yesterday, that white 8 buck I'm hunting. I haven't had one daylight picture of him since maybe like early August this year. And the conditions were so good yesterday, I said, let's just go give him a try. We had him right here. I'd snore wheezed at him. He was pawing the ground and carrying on. Devin couldn't get any of them because there was just too many leaves in the way, but I thought we had him. He was all worked up, and then this other, I guess he was a 3-year-old buck, worked down by us, and he just kind of stood, ran interference right there, and then that wide 8 just kind of went back about his business. He never did commit, so is what it is. But we just moved. We were in the Walnut yesterday. We came up here right where he was at, and today we got the decoy out. I was a little unsure about using the decoy because you got to get by the does, you got to get by the smaller bucks without making a ruckus, tipping over the decoy and all that. But all in all, I feel like if that 8 comes out and that decoy's there, it's game on. He is the king down here. This is that area wide 9 was in last year. Killed him. Now the new king is this wide 8. So with any luck, he'll step out this afternoon, work that decoy, and we'll be in business. Yes. Sit in, see how it goes. The doe's coming down. Oh God.
With the deer moving and the decoy set, Owen tucks in for the hunt ahead. That same evening, 30 miles to the north, Justin Carnes and Drake Lamb are arriving for a hunt of their own.
October 28th, Drake and I are getting down here. Today's the first day of what we're calling our rutcation 2023. It's cold, it's like 41 degrees. It's been like 65 all week, and October 28th, the rut's pushing in, November's finally getting here. The deer that Jenna actually shot at, it turns out about 13 days later he showed up on camera, so he's actually alive. So the white 8, he's a target. We've got a northeast wind that's going to be kind of blowing directly from our access, and a nice food plot right there, so should set up good.
That's that 9. Both of them does.
As Justin and Drake watch the Iowa Giant at a distance, back on stand with Owen, his hunt pushes on.
Well, I've seen some pretty good movement. I don't know, we're up to 10 or 11 does and 5 or 6 bucks, so it's been pretty good. This is always the wild card, putting a decoy out, is trying to get by the does. And you saw that interaction there. It was pretty funny watching all those deer try to wind it and everything else, but we're still in the game. If the right buck pops out, I think we're in the game for... Come on, send him. He started scraping by the decoy. Thing ended up in Nebraska by the time he was done. That is crazy. This ain't a bad looking buck here either. Probably the best hunt I've ever been on in 40 years of bow hunting. This thing is unbelievable. So this buck that was all postured up, the second one here, he worked off. And finally I seen another buck marching heading over there, big body deer. Well, it's that heavy 8 that Devin was gonna shoot. If we saw him yesterday, Devin had his bow. And boy, they went at it right there. Boy, they mixed it right up. That heavy 8 ran off that other buck that thought he was so tough, so I guess he wasn't that tough after all. I thought I was gonna name him Evander Holyfield, but guess not. He's just a weasel, Class Joe. Probably the funnest hunt of my life. 15 or 20 minutes left. She's pretty chilly, but if we don't see anything else, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Sure as heck enjoyed being out here.
Oh, thank you, God. What just happened, dude? I just throttled a monster, dude. I just throttled a monster.
I'm shaking. Oh, what? Here we go. What?
Well, here he is, a nice mature Wisconsin 9-pointer, and he gave me a nice 20-yard shot, and he went about 50, 60 yards. So hopefully the rest of the team has the same luck I did today.
Right over my left shoulder is where we just last seen Vendetta. We have not had a picture of him since then, so who knows, maybe we come over here, glass him up, lock down with the doe on the terrace. Maybe that's how the story ends, but let's go find another big one.
Deja vu is the phrase that comes to mind when reflecting on the events added to the chronicles of the 2023 season. Like carbon copies of the 2 preceding major cold fronts, Saturday delivered an amount of action that makes it hard to believe only one single calendar flip was burned. A hopeful signal for what's to come, the days ahead are forecasted to be perfect. To some, this multi-day window is the best time of the season, with weary bucks finally exchanging darkness for daylight marches in search for the first available doe in their known ranges. Carefully, the team continues to play chess, not checkers, navigating the next step to hopeful celebration. With another day remaining in the weekend, expectations remain at the flood stage, overflowing with visions of what tomorrow might hold. The only guarantee is that to turn dreams into reality, you have to be there putting time on stand, playing the lottery with hopes of arrowing the grand prize. With the current circumstances, there's no better time to play, and if you don't win, have no fear. Every day ahead is another day closer to when we will be chasing November.